It should be one of the US military's most secure buildings. Today, police helicopters hovering above.
There's a gunman on the chopper.
Carrying SWAT teams, lowering them to help winch the injured away. While eyewitnesses reported what they'd seen.
I was on the phone and somebody came on my desk and said, hey, this is not a fire alarm. Somebody has been shot in the building. So we went around trying to get people out of the building. And as we were exiting the back door, we noticed him down the hall. He stepped around the corner, we heard shots. And as he came around the corner, he aimed his gun at us and he fired at least 2 or 3 shots. And we ran down the stairs to get out of the building. And after we left the building, there were still shots in the building.
He was far enough down the hall that we couldn't see his face, but we could see him with the rifle, and he raised and aimed at us and fired, and he hit high on the wall, just as we were trying to leave.
The US Navy Yard is like the Navy's Pentagon, controlling $30 billion worth of military spending. Somehow, 5 days after the anniversary of the September the 11th terrorist attacks, its security has been penetrated, with workers ordered not to flee the building, but to shelter in place.
Most of my coworkers who are actually on the yard and in the office have been told to stay in place and stay away from windows. And I've been told to stay away from the yard until they give us an all clear. Everyone sounds, of course, worried, but I think everyone in my office is safe. They're across the street in another building within the yard, and everyone, as you can expect, is pretty nervous.
The shooting's taken place in the Navy Sea Command Center in the US Navy Yard, a sprawling military base in the southeastern quarter of America's capital. A perimeter cordon's been set up around the area, shutting neighbouring streets and putting schools on lockdown. It's 2.5 miles from the political heart of Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill, where security has been stepped up. A massive law enforcement operation's underway. Hours after the first reports of gunshots, the manhunt continued.
This is clearly still very much ongoing. Ambulances going past, helicopters in the air. We've seen at least 2 of them here. One of the military, 1 police. One of them was lowering what looked like a marksman onto the roof of one of the buildings here, another possibly taking an injured victim away. We've just been moved back a block here. As you can see, a lot of emergency service vehicles here and the police moving people away. So the assumption is that this is still very much ongoing. The hunt for this gunman is still happening here.
Airborne SWAT teams continue scouring the roofs of the Navy Sea Command Center.
The big concern for us right now is that we potentially have 2 other shooters that we have not located at this point. So right now, all we have on those potential other shooters, and this is not confirmed, we potentially may have 2 additional shooters out there.
Americans are used to seeing mass shooting incidents inside their schools and public buildings, but not in what should be highly secure military bases. And it's not over yet. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Washington.
Wow, people walking out with their hands up.